For years, I've had this idea for a specific portrait shoot in autumn, taking photos of a model wearing a dress made of leaves. The only problem is that the autumn months are always incredibly busy, and there are just a few short weeks each year when the forest truly looks beautiful, so it never quite happened. But this time I finally made it happen. It started with finding a model early enough. I began looking in September and found Franka. We set a date in the second week of October. A few days before the shoot, I visited several forests nearby to see where the autumn colors had started to appear. Unfortunately, most of the trees were still quite green. At the same time, I started collecting leaves to attach to the dress. I used double-sided tape to stick the leaves onto it. However, the leaves I had gathered dried out and curled up quickly, which made them unusable by the time the shoot day arrived. So on the morning of the shoot, I went back into the forest and collected fresh leaves. Since they were damp, I let them dry in the studio first. Then I glued them onto the dress one by one, quite a time-consuming job, and I didn't manage to cover the entire dress. When shooting in autumn, you always need to have a bit of luck with the weather. On the day of the shoot, it was heavily overcast, but at least it stayed dry. Together with Franka, I went to a beautiful forest near a place called Bergendal here in the Netherlands. On a cloudy day, it is quite dark in the woods, so I mostly used flash during the shoot. I made sure to keep the forest visible in the background, which meant pushing the ISO a bit higher to make everything work on a day like this. Since the leaf-covered part of the dress only covered the front, Franka was a bit limited in her posing. We had to be careful not to reveal too much of the actual dress underneath. Besides the full dress look, we also created some photos with the dress as a skirt, and a separate top made of leaves. I'm happy with the results we got, and the shoot actually inspired me to try this concept a second time. You will soon see the behind the scenes footage and the results from that next shoot here on this channel. So make sure to subscribe if you like to stay updated on new sessions.